In early 2026, Pakistan's defense minister announced that the military's patience had expired. They were now engaged in an open war, a reality marked by massive border skirmishes and nighttime airstrikes. This massive military force is pointed westward, at the Afghan Taliban, leaving the borders of India, Pakistan's historic rival, uncharacteristically quiet. On one side of the front, you have the conventional forces of the Pakistani military. Pakistan's intelligence agency, the ISI, spent decades creating, funding, and arming these exact fighters to serve as their primary proxy. Today, those same weapons are firing back at the people who provided them. This conflict is the result of geopolitical blowback, forcing an autopsy of the Strategic Depth Master Plan to see how a creator ends up in a shooting war with its own creation. In 1994, Pakistan's leaders faced a perceived geographic trap. With a massive rival in India, they needed a compliant puppet government in Afghanistan to ensure they wouldn't be attacked from both sides. This was the birth of Strategic Depth. By turning Afghanistan into a buffer zone, Pakistan secured its western flank against India. To make this reality, the ISI channeled weapons and money into a militant faction, providing the hardware needed to seize Kabul by 1996. That group was the Taliban, led by Mullah Omar. For years, Pakistan's establishment treated the group's success as a victory for their own security interests. When American forces arrived in 2001, Pakistan began a dangerous double game. Officially, they allied with Washington to fight terror. Secretly, they remained the Taliban's most significant backer. While Islamabad believed they could maintain this balance, the alliance with the U.S. triggered a fracture within their own network that they could not control. That fracture resulted in the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, or the TTP. These extremists were educated in Pakistani institutions, but they turned against the state the moment it partnered with the American military. The proxy system broke down. While the Afghan Taliban focused on Kabul, the TTP splintered off with a new objective: the violent overthrow of the government in Islamabad. The TTP launched a campaign of domestic terror, hitting its lowest point in 2014. Militants stormed an army public school in Peshawar, murdering 132 children. The massacre left a permanent scar on the country, and the TTP became an existential threat that the Pakistani military could never forgive. Today, the roles have reversed. TTP militants now use Afghanistan as a safe haven, protected by the Afghan Taliban. The proxy is now using the exact sanctuary tactics Pakistan once provided them against its former benefactor. Pakistan is demanding that Kabul arrest the TTP, but the Afghan Taliban is stuck. If they arrest their fellow fighters to satisfy Pakistan, those militants will simply defect to the rival group ISIS-K, so they choose to do nothing. This stalemate broke in late 2025. After a series of TTP raids on Pakistani soldiers, Islamabad responded with direct airstrikes on Kabul. The violence peaked on March 16, 2026. A Pakistani strike hit an addiction treatment hospital, killing over 400 people. The resulting global outcry forced a temporary ceasefire, but the underlying tension remains. A clear military victory is impossible for either side. Afghanistan has no air force to strike back, and Pakistan cannot sustain a ground invasion in these unconquerable mountain ranges. This has created a bleeding deadlock. Pakistan is trapped in a war it cannot win, against a force it helped build. The original 1994 plan had one goal: to use the Taliban to eliminate Indian influence on Pakistan's western border. In 2026, that plan has failed completely. The Afghan Taliban is currently signing trade agreements and planning infrastructure projects directly with the Indian government. The strategic depth buffer has collapsed. Pakistan is now isolated by a hostile neighbor to the west, while trade routes arch directly over its territory to connect the Taliban to India. Proxy weapons follow no master. When you build a force specifically to terrorize a neighbor, you almost guarantee that the exact same force will eventually turn around and burn down your own house. What do you think Pakistan's next move can even be? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.